Mr. White, thanks for not firing me yet. It's really nice.
Well, you got the
Let's go, bro. Every time I do a press conference, I'm like, here we go. I'm going to see Hunter's name. Dana.
I told him, get ready. Down the hatches up there. Yeah.
Hunter never called me, hey, Sean, how's your day? He's always like, Sean, you need to shut the fuck up. The moment I shut the fuck up, do you think those stands are going to be just as full? No. People either go because they love me or people either go because they want me to die. But either way, they're buying tickets.
They need American stars. Can you name a bigger star than Strickland as far as the United States goes? They need USA stars. It makes all the sense.
I guess American star, yeah.
American star. They need a face for America right now. Some of you aren't going to like it because of his politics or the wild shit he says on the mic. But you're going to see a big push for Strickland to be the face of the United States.
It's going to be a wild face
when it comes to UFC. Yeah. And that what leads me to believe we're going to get Strickland Hamzat this year fairly soon. Not in the next 2 or 3 months because he just fought. You got Ramadan, right? So Q2, you're getting Strickland Hamzat. I will bet any amount of money you get Strickland Hamzat. It makes sense. It just makes sense, man.
By the way, Hamzat, what do you think about Hamzat?
He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. Yeah.
Who do you think if him and Strickland fight, who do you think wins?
Oh, Hamzat.
I think Sean wins that.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I do. I want him to.
Really? You want him?
Well, Hamzat called me a bullshit gay, bro.
Bullshit gay?
He called me a gay, bullshit gay.
Why?
So his manager's manager, like a manager of his friend was like, yo, I was like, I want to do a stream. He was like, yo, you got to pay me like $1 million. I don't pay anyone money to get on streams. And then Hamzat was just like bullshit gay. So
Nightmare. Ask dumb shit, you're gonna get dumb shit. What'd you think of Bad Bunny? What'd you think of the Super Bowl? Get the fuck out of here.
I am a closet champion, and if he's not, what's he need to do to become a closet champion? My understanding of this term is you've got a champion that doesn't fight. And then we always want to get into why. Well, is he sick? Is he injured? Is there visa issues? We always want to get into why, and you're not wrong to do that, but it doesn't change the fact.
Is Sean Strickland really being pushed out of the UFC picture? Is Dana White quietly stirring chaos by leaving him sidelined? Not in the dramatic sense people might assume, but the middleweight division is undeniably tangled right now, and it's putting contenders like Strickland in a brutal holding pattern. Chael Sonnen lit the fuse by openly questioning whether the reigning middleweight champion is essentially holding the division hostage. This conversation isn't just about one fight. It's about the ripple effect that touches every ranked contender at 185 pounds. And Sonnen introduced a term that perfectly captures the tension: closet champion. That phrase alone could define the immediate future of the belt.
We've got a champion who is not fighting. We've got a champion who's made his desire to fight
core issue. The champion, Khamzat Chimaev, is speaking publicly, but not about defending his middleweight title. Instead, he's calling out Alex Pereira at light heavyweight. That's a blockbuster idea on paper. No one denies the magnitude of that matchup, but it completely sidesteps the contenders at 185 who have earned their place. While Pereira is a huge fight commercially, it freezes the middleweight division in place. And for someone like Strickland, who is demanding his rightful opportunity, that silence feels like stagnation. How can a champion control a division he isn't actively competing in?
clear, but it's outside of his weight class. So it comes back to the idea, are you a closet champion? You don't have to be a closet fighter to be a closet champion, by the way, right? You could be an active fighter. You could be wanting to get out there and willing to get out there, but if you...
Clarification sharpens the debate. It's not about whether Chimaev wants to fight. It's about where he wants to fight. He might be grinding daily, training harder than anyone, ready to step into the cage tomorrow, but if that cage isn't at 185 pounds against the division's top contender, then he's not fulfilling the obligation that comes with holding the belt. Championships aren't just trophies, they carry responsibility, and right now those responsibilities appear unaddressed.
Lack of clarity. I think Chimaev's done a very good job of putting a finger in Pierre's chest. He's done such a good job that it kind of caught Pierre off guard. Like, if anybody doesn't deserve to be called out, it's the guy that's willing to cover the spread at 3 different weight classes. It's the guy that did cover the spread at 185, did cover it at 205, and now would like to cover it at heavyweight.
Irony here too. Chimaev is trying to pressure Pereira, one of the most daring multi-division fighters in the sport, into a massive super fight. Pereira has built a reputation for stepping up to anyone, anywhere. Yet here stands a middleweight champion calling outward instead of downward, bypassing his own cue. It makes the inactivity at 185 even more glaring and amplifies the frustration brewing among contenders like Strickland.
Chimaev is putting on Pereira. That same kind of questioning, that same kind of doubt, that same kind of, that game of bluff, are you going to flinch, is the exact same energy that Strickland is putting on Chimaev. They parallel perfectly. Like, it would be very difficult to be in Chimaev's spot and claim victory over Pereira. Playground rules, I challenged you, you didn't show up after the bell, therefore I win.
Accuracy angle becomes sharper when you flip the lens. If Chimaev is applying pressure to Pereira, Strickland is applying that same pressure right back at Chimaev. It's a game of competitive chicken. Strickland is daring him to defend the belt. If calling someone out counts as staking a claim, then by that same logic, Strickland has every right to assert himself as the division's rightful next challenger. The silence toward actual contenders only strengthens his case.
All right, so what do you do if you're in Strickland's spot? I mean, at some point, do you move on? The moment Strickland moves on, the moment Strickland calls out the winner of...
This is where Strickland's predicament becomes painful. As the top contender, he's stuck in limbo. Every inactive month forces a choice: wait patiently or pivot elsewhere. But pivoting isn't simple. Moving on could mean risking his title position entirely. In this sport, stepping aside rarely gets rewarded. It often means surrendering leverage you might never regain. For Strickland, that decision isn't theoretical, it's career-altering. It's about legacy, income, momentum, years of sacrifice hanging in the balance.
On the blank. The moment he does that, he's not going to get the title shot. The moment a top contender flinches and calls out someone else, it's not like they're going to get surprised and go, hey...
This concept of flinching captures the danger. If Strickland calls out another contender or changes weight classes, it signals movement away from the title picture. And once you step out of that line, there's no guarantee you get your place back. That dynamic creates a bottleneck, a traffic jam at the top of the division, where contenders can't advance and the belt doesn't move. It's a structural problem that punishes ambition and rewards inactivity.
But it doesn't change if you're a closet champion or not. Like, the reason behind it does not matter in terms of fitting the definition of being a champion who is not defending your belt. And now, as a champion whose voice does matter, that voice is calling for fights, really hard fights, compelling fights, at a different weight class, which again...
Truth remains. The reason behind inactivity doesn't erase the effect. Whether delays stem from visa complications, injuries, negotiations, or personal plans, a champion who isn't defending still fits the closet champion label. It becomes even more frustrating when that champion is vocal, calling for fights, but outside his own weight class. That willingness to compete elsewhere only intensifies the perception that 100... Now the uncomfortable question lands squarely with Dana White and the UFC matchmakers. How long is acceptable? At what point does patience become negligence toward the division? Sonnen isn't arguing that Chimaev can't pursue bigger opportunities. Super fights have their place, but divisions cannot remain frozen indefinitely. If the real intention is to move to 205 permanently, then clarity is needed. Make it official, vacate the belt, let the division breathe again.
Involve a champion not defending his belt. So if Chimaev's not a closet champion, how long until he is? How many dates have to go by? How many times are we going to see number one contenders matches where that number one contender is not given that shot? If we extend the amount of time that we've already gone between Chimaev and his last fight, at some point, you got to take him at his word. If he wants to move to 205 pounds, I don't begrudge him at all. Just
brings us to the ultimatum. Defend the 185-pound title or relinquish it. There isn't a third path that protects competitive integrity. If Chimaev intends to keep the belt, then the next logical step is obvious: face the clear number one contender. As Sonnen stressed, Strickland has positioned himself for that opportunity. The debate isn't about identifying the challenger. It's about why the fight hasn't already been signed.
vacate at 185, and then we can begin that conversation. And we don't appear to be at that point. So if we're not at that point, then we must be at the point of accepting a fight. Two meaningful challenges: Imanov, Strickland. Strickland beat Imanov. It would appear that it's Strickland. Why isn't that confirmed?
Sits firmly in the champion's court. The middleweight division is waiting, and so is Sean Strickland.